Imagine this. Millions of people wake up every day with a secret fear. That fear? Anxiety. It's more common than you think. Did you know that over 40 million adults in the US alone struggle with anxiety every year? It's easy to feel alone in this struggle, but you're not alone. I've been there. I know that feeling of being overwhelmed, of your thoughts racing like a runaway train. But what if I told you there's a way out? A way to find peace, even in the midst of chaos. This isn't about quick fixes or magic pills. This is about the power of spiritual techniques, tools that helped me reclaim my life from anxiety. Anxiety can feel like a heavy cloak, suffocating your joy and stealing your peace. It can manifest in so many ways: racing thoughts that keep you up at night, a pounding heart that won't slow down, that constant feeling of dread that something bad is about to happen. For me, anxiety felt like a tight band around my chest, making it hard to breathe. It affected everything I did. My relationships, my work, even simple things like going to the grocery store became a source of stress. I felt like I was living on edge, constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. Does any of this sound familiar? Have you ever felt that overwhelming sense of worry that just wouldn't go away? It's important to remember that you're not weak for feeling this way. Anxiety is a real and valid experience. My journey to overcome anxiety wasn't easy. It was a process of trial and error, of searching for answers and finding strength in unexpected places. But through it all, I discovered the incredible power of spiritual techniques. These techniques aren't about escaping reality or pretending that anxiety doesn't exist. They are about equipping yourself with the tools to face your anxiety head-on and find peace within the storm. Remember that feeling I described? That weight of worry? It started to affect every aspect of my life. My once vibrant personality dimmed, as if I was living in a shadow of my true self. The simplest tasks, like picking up groceries or attending social gatherings, felt insurmountable. The joy I used to find in spending time with my family, even playing with my children, became tainted with this underlying current of unease. I felt like I was wearing a mask, pretending to be okay when inside, my mind was a whirlwind of what-ifs and impending doom. The worst part was the guilt. Guilt that I wasn't present for my loved ones. Guilt that I couldn't just snap out of it. One of the cruelest tricks anxiety plays is making you feel completely alone. Even surrounded by loved ones, that invisible barrier remained, separating me from truly connecting. It felt like no one understood the turmoil raging within me. I withdrew from social gatherings, making excuses to avoid the questioning looks and well-meaning advice. The fear of judgment, of being perceived as weak or incapable, kept me trapped in a cycle of isolation. The isolation fueled the anxiety, creating a vicious cycle that seemed impossible to break. It was during this dark period that I stumbled upon a glimmer of hope. A friend, sensing my internal struggle, gently suggested I explore meditation. At first, I was skeptical. Meditation? That seemed like something for yogis and spiritual gurus, not for a busy wife and mother like me. But desperation can be a powerful motivator. I was willing to try anything to silence the relentless chatter in my mind, to find even a moment of respite from the anxiety that had become my constant companion. Little did I know that this seemingly small step would mark the beginning of a profound transformation. So there I was, skeptical but hopeful, embarking on this journey into the world of meditation. I downloaded an app, found a quiet corner in my home, and hesitantly pressed play. The gentle voice guided me to close my eyes, to focus on my breath. to let go of the thoughts swirling in my mind. Easier said than done, right? My mind felt like a battlefield, thoughts colliding, anxieties screaming for attention. But I persisted, day after day, carving out those precious minutes for myself. And slowly, gradually, something remarkable began to happen. The more I practiced, the more I could glimpse those moments of stillness. Meditation wasn't just about finding stillness, though. It was about cultivating mindfulness, that state of being fully present in each moment, without judgment. It was about noticing the taste of my morning coffee, the laughter of my children, the feel of the sun on my skin, all without the weight of worry clouding my senses. Mindfulness, I discovered, was a powerful antidote to anxiety. By focusing on the present, I was freeing myself from the shackles of the past and the anxieties of the future. It wasn't about ignoring my problems. It was about facing them with a sense of clarity and calm that I hadn't experienced before. It was in those moments of mindfulness that I began to realize the true power of this spiritual practice. One of the simplest, yet most profound techniques I learned through meditation was the power of the breath. Such a basic, involuntary action, yet it held the key to calming my anxious mind. By focusing on the inhale and exhale, I could slow down my racing heart, ease the tension in my chest, and create a sense of grounding when I felt overwhelmed. It became my anchor in the storm. Whenever anxiety threatened to pull me under, I would find a quiet corner, close my eyes, and simply breathe. Inhale peace, exhale worry. It sounds so simple, and yet it was incredibly effective. The breath became my constant companion, a reminder that even in the midst of chaos, I had the power to find stillness within. As I delved deeper into my spiritual journey, I discovered another powerful ally in my battle against anxiety: nature. Remember that feeling of being trapped, suffocated by your own thoughts? Nature became my escape, a sanctuary where I could breathe again. The simple act of stepping outside, feeling the sun on my skin, the wind in my hair, had this incredible calming effect. It was like stepping into a warm bath after a long, stressful day. The tension in my shoulders would ease, my breath would slow, and I could feel the worries start to melt away. In those moments, I felt a sense of peace that I hadn't realized I was missing. Alongside nature, I discovered another powerful tool in my journey: prayer. Now, I know for some, the idea of prayer might seem intimidating or even irrelevant. But for me, it became a lifeline, a way to connect with something bigger than myself, a source of strength beyond my own limited understanding. It wasn't about reciting memorized words or following a strict set of rules. It was about opening my heart, honestly and authentically, to a higher power. Sometimes my prayers were filled with tears and pleas for help, other times with gratitude for the smallest of blessings. And you know what? Something shifted within me when I started praying regularly. It wasn't that my problems magically disappeared overnight, but I felt a sense of peace, a knowing that I wasn't alone in my struggles. As I continued to practice mindfulness, connect with nature, and embrace the power of prayer, I noticed something extraordinary happening. The whispers of anxiety that had haunted me for so long began to fade. They didn't vanish entirely, of course, but they no longer held the same power over me. I found myself facing challenging situations with a newfound sense of calm and clarity. I was able to make decisions without being crippled by fear and self-doubt. This journey wasn't about becoming someone else, but about rediscovering the best version of myself, free from the grip of anxiety. The final piece of the puzzle, the one that truly solidified my journey to overcoming anxiety, was deepening my relationship with the Holy Trinity. Now, I know this might sound a bit daunting, especially if you haven't grown up with a strong religious background. But trust me on this. It's not about complex theological concepts or rigid doctrines. It's about understanding the profound love and support offered by God the Father, Jesus the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Imagine this. A love so vast, so unconditional, that it envelops you completely, chasing away any fear or doubt. For me, it was about surrendering my worries and anxieties to a higher power. It was about acknowledging that I didn't have to carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. One of the most transformative aspects of embracing the Trinity was the concept of faith over fear. It's easy to get caught up in the what-ifs, the anxieties about the future, the doubts that whisper, "You're not good enough." But faith offers a different perspective. It's about trusting in God's plan, even when we can't see the whole picture. It's about believing that even in the midst of challenges, we are held, guided, and loved beyond measure. With each conscious decision to trust in the Trinity, to surrender my worries, I felt a sense of peace that anxiety simply couldn't penetrate. Now, I'm not saying that embracing the Trinity magically erased all my anxieties. Life still throws curveballs, challenges still arise, but the difference was this. I faced them with a newfound sense of hope and resilience. The constant knot of worry in my stomach loosened its grip. The racing thoughts that used to keep me up at night quieted. And you know what? I started to see actual, tangible answers to my prayers. Looking back, I can see how each challenge, each answered prayer, led me closer to the life I was meant to live, a life free from the crippling grip of anxiety. Do you remember that feeling I described at the beginning? That weight of worry, that constant knot of anxiety? It all came to a head one ordinary Tuesday afternoon. I was juggling work deadlines, household chores, and preparing for my daughter's school play. The phone rang. It was the school nurse. My daughter, Lily, had fainted during recess. My heart lurched. My mind raced, instantly conjuring up worst-case scenarios. The carefully constructed walls I had built around my anxiety crumbled. Have you ever experienced a moment like that? Share your experience in the comments. Let's support each other. As I sat in the school nurse's office, waiting for Lily to regain consciousness, I realized I was at a crossroads. I could succumb to the overwhelming panic, or I could choose to fight back with the spiritual tools I had gathered. Closing my eyes, I took a deep breath, focusing on the inhale and exhale. With each breath, I felt a sliver of calm seep into my being. I pictured myself surrounded by the beauty and serenity of nature, drawing strength from the earth and sky. Have you ever had a moment where you consciously chose faith over fear? Share your experience in the comments. Your story could inspire someone today. And then I prayed for peace, for guidance, for the strength to face whatever lay ahead. As I surrendered my worries to a higher power, a profound sense of calm washed over me. It wasn't that the situation had magically resolved itself. Lily was still unconscious. The doctors were still running tests. But I was no longer adrift in a sea of fear. I had found my anchor. Remember that feeling we talked about? That suffocating grip of anxiety? It doesn't have to control your life. Just like I discovered the power within me, so can you. Remember those 5 spiritual practices: mindfulness, meditation, connecting with nature, the power of prayer, and embracing the love of the Holy Trinity. These aren't just abstract ideas. They are tools powerful tools that can help you navigate the storms of life and find peace within. It's a journey. I won't deny that. There will be days when anxiety tries to rear its ugly head. But you are stronger than you think. You have everything you need within you to overcome this. Take that first step. Embrace these practices. And watch as your life transforms. You are not alone. Share your thoughts, your struggles, your triumphs in the comments below. Let's support each other on this journey to peace. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiration and guidance.